Today we'll be dealing with a game that is not only the genesis of nostalgia for me, but in a way brought me from a world of childhood games such as Mr. Do, Pac-Man, and Dig Dug to a new level of gaming. In the mid-80s, my friend Jonathan got the first PC on the block, a Tandy, and with that came a game that blended two things I haven't seen together before: science fiction and role-playing. Being used to games with no endings or very few levels, this PC game being so vast and unknown just blew my young mind away. In an age without internet or walkthroughs, this game not only showed me how large a game could be, but also the endless possibilities. Because in a whole, this game not only showed me the adventure of space exploration, but also the exploration of the human imagination, and also what the future of gaming could be. So without further ado, I give you StarFlight. StarFlight was released by Electronic Arts in 1986 for the PC, and then in 1991 for the Sega Genesis. It is considered one of the first sandbox/open-ended space simulations of its type. Although there are several differences between the Genesis and the PC, the plot and controls are mostly the same. So in this review, we'll be dealing with the Sega Genesis version. It is the year 4620. Mankind has traversed the universe for over 2,000 years. The history of our species is vast, and events such as wars, the abandonment of Earth, and our first meeting with several spacefaring races is mixed within a plot as you take the role of a starship captain who is sent forth to explore the rest of the unknown galaxy. The game itself is completely non-linear and mixes space exploration with role-playing elements. The plot of the game is quite cryptic, receiving transmissions and clues at your home base of the interstellar spaceport or through communication through various alien races spread throughout the universe. But it seems that something within the stars itself is not right. The possibility of solar flares may cause mass destruction of all life throughout the galaxy. The game begins in interstellar spaceport, where the player will form a crew and assign their positions as science officer, navigator, engineer, communications, and medicine. The player may also choose from 5 races and consider their following characteristics and where they will be suited best. Each profession has a racial counterpart with the highest proficiency unit in it. Except for androids, members of every race may be trained in their skills by spending the game's currency. At the spaceport, the player can also acquire better weapons, armor, and shields for their ship, as well as outfitting it with cargo pods and the terrain vehicle, which will be needed for mining and exploring different planets. The known races include humans, mentally flexible, aggressive, but physically weak. The Veloxi, insect-like creatures whose culture is akin to a hive mentality and are not known to be particularly intelligent. The Thrin, bipedal and carnivorous reptilian race. For reasons unknown, they harbor an ancient animosity towards the Elohim. The Thrin will excel in situations involving protocol and diplomacy. The Elohim, a bipedal and photosynthetic race. They are willowy and delicate, with numerous prehensile vines. Their adept learning rate allows them to learn all skills relatively quickly. Androids, sophisticated automatons made of metal and plastic, making them the most durable crew members. Their only downfall is that most of the programming is hardwired, making them incapable of progressing efficiency levels. After your crew is assembled and the ship outfitted, it's time for you to step out into the great beyond. The entire galaxy is unknown, and it is up to the player to travel to distant planets to explore and land on. Some planets may be hospitable, but most are not. Using a top-down interface, your terrain vehicle will venture out with the task of finding minerals, biological data, and artifacts to transport back to the spaceport. These resources can be sold for MU, the game's currency or monetary unit. As you explore the universe, besides solar systems, you will see continuum fluxes, which are like wormholes teleporting you to different coordinates on the star map. This is the quickest and most fuel-efficient way of traveling to point A to point B throughout the stars. First contact. As was said before, you will encounter aliens known and unknown. These situations have to be taken with the greatest discretion. Scanning, bringing up shields, or arming weapons can make a seemingly innocent encounter turn into an all-out war. So communication should be initially used. Remember, you're dealing with several alien races, each responding differently to how you speak to them. The ways to communicate are obsequiousness. This allows for the communication officer to respond submissive and subservient. Friendliness. The best way to respond to get an initial feel for each race and possibly important information. Hostility. This could be a possible good ploy when dealing with a meek race, or it might just get you vaporized. When communication fails, you can attack, but remember your objective. Attacking may rob yourself of useful information and an enemy throughout your travels. While exploring the universe, finding minerals and hospitable planets to log, you will also find ruins of civilizations long past. Ancient artifacts that will, if you learn their secrets, help you. And be warned, you will also find the most mysterious and dangerous race of them all, only known as the Ulek. In the end, StarFlight is a real phenomenon. I've relevantly seen any other game in history that can so elegantly capture the spirit of space exploration, blending in a mix of history, diplomacy, economics, and war, in a union of open-ended and extremely addictive gameplay. Legacy. StarFlight did spawn a sequel, StarFlight 2, Trade Routes of the Cloud Nebula, which although kept the overall feel and look of the original, got mixed reviews. StarFlight also inspired developers of the series Star Control and even newer games such as Mass Effect. So if I haven't stressed this enough, at least do yourself a service and try it. You'll be glad you did. And with that, I give this a